Hello, hello. Good morning.
ဆိုတော့ငါဘယ်တော့ဒါဗီဒီယိုပြန်လဲโอ้ยมันเราหลอกเลยน้องนายกว่าล่ะโอเคมาไปแล้วโอเคเป๊ะป่ะโอเคalright ကိုဒီတော့ background ဘာလို့ပေးရမလဲဒီ background နဲ့ကိုbackground နာမည်လို့ရတော့ခင်ဗျာရတယ်နော်alright အေး
Good morning, members of graduating class, honored guests, trustees, parents, faculty, staff, friends, and support of Parami University. The 2025 Parami University Commencement Ceremony is about to begin. We expect the ceremony to last approximately 2 to 3 hours. So before we begin, let me kindly remind you to turn off your phones or to put them in silent mode, and be respectful to those around you by refraining from talking aloud. During the presentation of the degrees and awards, we encourage you to celebrate with us. So this ceremony will be also broadcast live on Parami University YouTube channel. Morning, members of graduate class, honor guests, trustee, parents, faculty, staff, and support of Parami University. The 2025 Parami University commencement ceremony is about to begin. So we expect the ceremony to be last approximately 2 to 3 hours. So before we begin, make sure that you turn off your phones or put them in a silent mode so that you don't disrupt those around you. For now, Parami University Social Degree Commencement is about time to begin. So we request everyone to take your place. And of course, I'd like to invite everyone to stand up and welcome our faculty and our student representatives as they enter the hall in the behind. Once again, I would like to request everyone to stand up and welcome our faculty and student representatives at this end of the hall. please be seated as we proceed with the ceremony. Good morning once again, members of graduating class, honor guests, trustees, parents, faculty, staff, friends, and supporters of Parami University. My name is Mira Chai, and I am the master ceremony for the 2025 Parami University Commencement Ceremony. We launched our undergrad program in June 2022, just a few years ago from now. And on June 4th last year, we celebrated our first commencement ceremony right here at this place. And today, we have a graduate ceremony for associate degree graduates from the class of 2027. I hope everyone is so excited right now. And this place holds a lot of memories. And we are honored to have you all with us on this special occasions for our students and, of course, the university. So today is a day that parents, students have long waiting for. It marks a milestone in our students' lives and the history of Parami universities, and we all gather here to celebrate the accomplishments of our undergraduate students who have completed their graduation requirements for the associate degree after 2 years of study. This ceremony is both offline and online. Some of our graduates are in this room with us, celebrating in person. While we have our presidents, some of our graduating students, their parents, honor guests, supporters are joining us virtually from different places around the world. Now, to formally welcome everyone, I would like to invite Dr. Damoton, the president of Parami University, to give a virtual welcome address.
Thank you very much. Welcome, everybody. It's such a moment of joy to be witnessing this milestone here. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Welcome, everybody. A graduating class this year. I am so proud of you, and I just wish that I could say these words to you in person. A ship is safe in harbor, but that's not what ships are built for. This quote is usually attributed to John Shedd, an American industrialist. While I wish that I could say this lightly, it has to be acknowledged that our Burmese youth have been in the open sea for years, struggling to survive even in a journey to receive education. One of the roundtable discussants yesterday referred to that as survivability. Our young people need many more harbors for them to keep going. Burma's road to democracy that fosters a society with justice, freedom, and rule of law has been an unfinished business for more than half a century now. Our young people need a lot of support and help in this long journey. Usually they feel like ships lost at sea. And I often feel that too. And I just want to say that you're not alone. I had a town hall meeting with students a month ago. One of the students asked me, Siha Chamutan, how do you keep on going with what you're doing amidst all the challenges, all the struggles, all the troubles and difficulties that you face for Parami? Just like the question that Daniel posed to Alice yesterday, I have a suggestion. And it comes from no other than Aung San Suu Kyi. She once said, if you feel helpless, help someone. I had many moments of despair and helplessness all the time, as we are all in this together. In those moments, I look around me and see what I can do. I reach out to students to see if there is anything I could do to help. I'm not joking. One time, I looked around and I saw my dog. And I know that he wanted to go out. It wanted to go out. And so I put my dog on a leash and took him out. Once you help someone or something, you feel empowered and able. Our students themselves are no stranger to this. Many of you have been involved in civic engagement projects, small and large, through service learning. You know how empowering that is. And I just hope that you don't lose sight of that and keep on going with such tenacity. There are many people who have gone out of their way to help those in need. And one of them is the late Ubawin, which some of you may have had the opportunity to meet. He was instrumental in many of the projects that Bar College established. He was former dean of the college that I went to, Bar College Science Rock. Without him, I wouldn't be where I am, and Parami wouldn't exist. Unfortunately, he passed away 6 weeks ago. Ubawin was one of those individuals who was kicked out of Burma just because of his race. His mother was Burmese and his father was Indian. As you all know, during the 1960s, many so-called mixed blood individuals were kicked out of Burma, and Ubawin was one such individual. He was kicked out of his beloved country with just a piece of paper that said, "The bearer of this individual is to leave Burma permanently." It's always a love-hate relationship that he would have till the end of his life. A love for the people of Burma and a hate for the authorities that have been ruling Burma. And that love for the people of Burma was what drove him to always reach out and help those in need. Love in the darkest space of hatred shines the brightest. And Parami is one of the legacies of Ubawin. You will see many of Ubawin's legacies at Parami. At the end of this ceremony, there will be the ringing of Jay-Z, a tradition that Ubawin left in many of the Bar College campuses that he helped establish. There now is a scholarship at Parami in honor of Ubawin called Bawin Memorial Scholarship. Now, I want you to think about what your legacy is going to be. Think about your dreams and hopes. Aspire higher, dream bigger, reach deeper. When we leave this world, let us all leave a very big footprint. And I'm sure that you all will. I wish you best of luck going forward. And again, massive congratulations to the graduating class.
Finally. All right, I think it's working right now. Hopefully. Thank you so much, our president, for those heartfelt and encouraging words. Our next speaker is the Chair Board of Trustees of Parami Universities. Please join me in welcoming Mrs. Sally Nguyen to give an opening remark.
Thank you. Dr. Chalmotun said I have a minute to speak, so I'll be very, very brief. But what I wanted to say is, as you all know, the road to this place and to this event has been long. There have been many detours along the way, none of which were expected, but all of which we've overcome to come here today. On behalf of my fellow colleagues on the board of trustees, the members of the faculty, the administration, and everyone in the Parami family, I'd like to welcome each and every one of you graduates and your families, whether you're here in person or virtually. We're very proud of all that you've done to come to this very important milestone in your lives. And we're glad that we've had a chance to participate in it and to help guide you to get to this place. Somebody said yesterday at one of the presentations that if there were one word to describe a Parami student, it would be resilience. And watching it from afar, I live 9,000 miles away, I can say that there's no more adjective that is more accurate. You have grown up in a period of tremendous change in Myanmar, a period of 10 years of freedom and democracy, followed by the challenges of the global pandemic and the global shutdown of livelihoods and the economy and being confined to your homes, followed by a coup, followed by conscription, and followed by floods and earthquakes and all sorts of other very dangerous threats that would have prevented most people from continuing to pursue their degrees and to get this far. So the fact that you've come this far with so many challenges is really remarkable, and I'm so just overwhelmed by all that you have done. What we believe at Parami, and one of the founding principles since we were established, is that education is a means to create a better world. And what we have tried to do through our faculty and through our various programs is to provide you and give you the tools and help you develop the tools that you have to become free thinkers who are able to step into any situation, to assess the world around you, to come up with ideas on how to make it better, and with the means to implement those ideas. And one thing that we ask in return for what we have been able to help you develop those skills is that you take those skills and you apply them to make the world better in whatever way you can, whether it's a big, glorious new world, or whether it's helping somebody, a neighbor, cross the street. But everything what we ask is that everything you do, you have in the back of your mind the question, what can I do to make this world better and more enjoyable and happy for other people? So with that, we ask you to take your degrees into the world and to make it a better place. So thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Mrs. Sally Nguyen, for your encouraging message. Next, we are very honored to have Dr. Jonathan Becker, the Executive Vice President at Bard College, with us today in person. Dr. Jonathan Becker is a representative of our dual degree partner, Bard College in New York, and a trustee of the Parami board. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Jonathan Becker for his remarks.
Thank you. It's great to be here. So I stand here today as a representative of the Board of Trustees of Bard College President Leon Botstein, and the Bard faculty to congratulate you, the students, on this wonderful achievement. We celebrate this achievement, and as you can see by the two diplomas, as graduates both of Parami and of Bard. It's important for you to know that you're not just part of Parami, but you're part of a broader Bard global network. This year, you're about 70 today. This year, Bard will award 2,100 diplomas to students from New York to Kyrgyzstan, from Washington, D.C. to Palestine. Students at all of these places, whether they're in a prison in New York, an early college in Louisiana, or at Parami, they will be studying language and thinking, or you might call it writing and thinking, do first-year seminar, take courses across the curriculum, and do civic engagement projects. You have not get here alone. I want to take a moment, because this is a really special moment for you, but to acknowledge others in the room who have done so much to make this possible. So first, I want to thank the parents, families, and friends of students who are here, and ask them to stand up, please. Parents, families, and friends, please stand up. Thank you. Now I want to ask this thing called the faculty, who has worked with you so diligently. I actually have taught some of you, so I guess I'm standing up already, but it's not so easy to teach over Zoom all the time, right? So I want to ask the faculty who are essential to your academic success and to spend so much time and effort, and ask them to stand up. And finally, they're mostly at the back of the room, but I want to ask the staff of Parami to stand up and be recognized for your wonderful work. So can the staff please stand up? So thank you all. Instead of advice, I guess I'm following on from what Jamotun said. I want to go back and honor Uba Win for a moment. As Jamotun said, Baldwin passed away in late April, and he was the dean at Ballard College at Simon's Rock, which designed that associate's degree, which you are all receiving today. He was a mentor to President Jamotun, but to so many Burmese students or students from Myanmar in the United States. And if Jamotun is the president and the founder of Parami, I'd like to think of Baldwin as the grandfather of Parami, having been engaged in educational projects in Myanmar for so many years. So the days prior to the opening of Parami Institute in 2016, which is the precursor to Parami University, he wrote a number of things. I went scrolling through my emails to find out what was he saying at the time, what was he thinking about. So here's some of the things he said, and I hope it still rings a bell or resonates with you. He said in early January of 2016, its first cohort of 15 students of Yangon University and Mandalay University is starting on January 9th. Following writing and thinking, students will be immersed in 12 weeks of general interdisciplinary education. These young people, who are now you, will experience for the first time in their lives reading and thinking and writing outside of their disciplines. They will demonstrate improved English and confidence in themselves as people capable of more than reproducing lectures and passing exams. At the actual opening ceremony of Parami in January 2016, He spoke of his own experience coming to the United States in 1965 when he went to Kalamazoo College in Michigan. He described his academic journey there as something which you might find similar. I was well prepared in science and mathematics fields I wanted to be in, but the college expected me to take literature, history, and philosophy under what they explained were my liberal arts requirements. I went to my advisor and explained that I came to the college to study chemistry, not history and philosophy. He said the college was not trying to change my mind about studying chemistry, that there would be enough time to study chemistry. My advisor patiently explained to me that liberal arts requirements were to introduce me to different subjects like anthropology, economics, philosophy, and political science that I had never studied in high school. My first reaction was, Hate Babi, which, as I understand from my excellent Burmese skills, means I'm dead. He described how his professors were forcing me and my classmates to read the texts more closely, to listen to each other's attempts at making sense and to puzzle it over ourselves, and how we moved from being a memorizer to a learner. In Michigan, he wrote, I learned that the skill of being good at memorizing was valuable, but not sufficient at all. I had to learn how to read even difficult passages. I had to conquer my fear of saying something foolish, to support what I wrote with reasoning, and to gain confidence in what I had to say. In other words, I had to learn how to think and slowly to become an independent thinker. I hope in these past 2 years that the lessons that Bawin learned in Michigan, you have learned and engaged with, and you are our students and people who think, who puzzle, who read carefully, and who think carefully about your ideas and own your ideas, who have agency, not just resilience, but also agency about what you might be doing. And of course, the good news is, if you haven't quite gotten there in 2 years, you might have 2 more years to continue studying at Parami and complete your degree. Beyond that, though, I hope that you could carry on the tradition of Bawin, some of which John Motun spoke about. And these I would identify as follows: caring deeply about Myanmar, contributing to its future, which is something he did with educational programs until his death, caring about education deeply, supporting generations younger than you, cooking excellent meals, and maintaining a kindness and an optimism even when things were at their most difficult. Congratulations on the completion of your associate's degree. We are very proud of you on behalf of Bard College, and please enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jonathan Becker, for that inspiring message and for the recognition. Last but not least, please welcome the Dean of Academic Affairs of Parami University, Dr. Phelan, to deliver his remark on the academic achievements of our students.
Well, it is so wonderful to see you here today. I feel bad. Some of you have come up to me and said, "Oh, I was in your class, and I don't recognize you. I don't recognize you from the Zoom." It's so hard for me to make that connection. But it's so great to see you today. And I want to pick up on a theme that's been mentioned several times, that it's been uncertain. We're in uncertain times. This past year has been something. We had in the fall semester, we had the floods. Then in early spring semester in February, we had some students from American University of Afghanistan join us because of the challenges they were facing. Then we had the earthquake, and we had to make adjustments for that. And none of these things are something we can plan for. It's not like we had a plan in a binder. If a flood happens, this is what you should do. If there's an earthquake, turn to page 12, but we didn't have anything like that. We had to figure out how to respond. We had to figure out a way to continue what we were doing at Parami. And it's that kind of ability to respond to uncertainty that we are trying to develop in you as students at Parami University. So you're learning all kinds of facts and information, and all of that is important. But as a dean, in my mind, there's something more important that you're learning, and these are skills. These are skills that are going to be very important for you later on in your life, and hopefully now too as well. I've had the opportunity to talk to HR directors. These are people who are in charge of hiring big businesses like Total, Deloitte, and they said that it's important that that the graduates that they're hiring have basic information, basic knowledge. That's really important. But they're also looking for certain skills. And it's the skills that they really want to focus on. Because if, for example, at Total, which is a French oil company, you may not, they may require their employees to have certain knowledge. They can train their employees, give them that knowledge. But the skills, that's harder for them to train. And what they want from in their employees are these skills. And what are those skills? Well, what they told me was skills like being able to design and implement and complete a project. I mean, this sounds very basic, but it's actually a skill to design, to think of a plan, to think of an idea, a thesis, or a research question, to then develop it and work it out, and then to finish it, preferably on time. That's a skill. That's something that you have to learn and you can get better at. Another skill that they were looking for is critical analytical thinking. And this is something that I'm hoping you're finding in your classes when we as professors are pushing you to come up with your ideas, to think, to respond. I know those of you who were in my class, I pushed you hard to use those critical thinking skills. I hope you felt that you benefited from that, but I'm pretty sure you're getting that in your other classes too. A third thing that these HR directors told me that they're looking for is the ability to communicate these ideas. That, for example, if you're hired by Total and you have to stand in front of prospective customers, they want you to be able to present the ideas clearly. Can you present your thoughts in a clear, coherent manner? So this ability to present your ideas in a way that is effective is also a skill. And I'm hoping you're developing that in our classrooms as well. But you may not realize that you're developing these. You may think, well, you know, I don't remember taking that. I don't remember seeing that on the syllabus. But you have been, and you may not realize it until later on. And now I'm going to do an old person thing and tell you a little bit of my memories, the things that I feel like I have learned when I was a student. When I was an undergraduate, I was doing a degree in philosophy. And the last thing I had to do in my last year of studies was what we called an honors thesis, what at Parami we call a capstone. And the idea was I had to come up with an idea in philosophy, an argument that I would make. Then I had to develop it over a year. And then I had to produce a paper, a long essay, and I had to present it to the other people in the class. I had to defend it. Now, don't tell anybody, but I was a terrible student. When I was in undergraduate, I was terrible. Yeah, please don't tell anybody that. But the way I used to write papers was the night before. I know you don't do it. I know you don't do it, so this may sound very strange, but I would write my papers the night before. And all of a sudden, I'm in a class where I have to do this. I have to write the paper over a year. I'd never spent more than a week writing a paper, much less a year. So I wasn't quite sure about this course. But it was an amazing experience. It was an amazing experience being with fellow students as we were developing our ideas and having a professor guide us through the development of that idea, writing it, and then presenting it. It was an amazing experience, something I had never done before. And I wanted to do more of it. I thought this is something I want to do again. So I crazy, I went and did a master's degree. And then I went on to do a PhD where I continued to develop this skill, this ability to come up with an idea, to develop it over time, and then to present it. But I hadn't really thought of that as a skill. I just thought I was writing my paper, but it was a skill that I was developing. When I started my PhD, my supervisor was a Jesuit, a very interesting character. I was taking a class with him, and we were doing Occam. Now, you don't need to know who Occam is, but he was a medieval philosopher. And we were reading Occam in English, and he wrote originally in Latin, but we were reading in English. And we came across a text, and I can't remember the exact book or what we were looking at, but we came across a text, and my supervisor, he stopped us, and he said, "That's not a good translation." And I didn't know. And so he stood up and he left. He left the room. And there were about 3, 4 of us, and we're looking at each other, wondering, what is he doing? Where did he go? And so we're waiting. And about 5 minutes later, he came back, and he has this big book, old book. He puts it on the lectern, and he opens it up, and he's got gloves on. This is an edition of the book by Occam. It was about 500 years old. I don't know how he got it out of the library, but he had brought it to the classroom. He opens it up with gloves because you couldn't use your hands to damage it. He opens it up, he finds the place, and it's all in Latin. Now, I didn't know Latin. I still don't know Latin. But then he goes through sentence by sentence, word by word, and he's trying to explain why the translation wasn't right, because it missed something important in the Latin. And what that impressed on me was the importance of the details, to get the details right, to understand, to get the meaning out of the text, to get the meaning out of the situation, is this ability to focus on the details. And that's a skill. That's a skill that has to be developed, because very few of us are by nature inclined to sort of focus on details. We just want to get through. We just want to get it done. Like when I was an undergrad, get the paper done as quickly as possible. Forget about details. But what I learned was that the details matter. And this is something that I've appreciated now as a dean, that focus on details has made my job easier. It's made my ability to respond to changes, to uncertainty, that skill that I developed is valuable for me now. But I didn't know that. I didn't realize it at the time, but it was a skill that I had developed. My last story. I had trouble with my PhD. My supervisors, they either died or they moved away. And so eventually I had to find a supervisor, and the person that was being suggested was somebody who was almost legend at the university for being very difficult. He was a contrarian. He was somebody who disagreed. Doesn't matter what you said, he would disagree with you. But he was really, really sharp, really sharp. And so it was suggested that I work with him, and I wasn't quite sure about that. I went to talk to him, and he said he would be happy to help me finish my PhD, and I told him what I wanted to write on. He told me he disagreed with everything. He disagreed with everything. First of all, he felt that the author I was focusing on didn't matter. Not important author at all. I shouldn't even pay any attention. The argument I was trying to develop, he thought I was completely wrong. And so he said, as long as you understand that I disagree with everything that you're doing, he would try to help me. And I thought, I'm not sure how this is going to work. You know, if you disagree with me, how does that work? But it was a wonderful experience. He did disagree with everything. All our meetings were contentious and lots of arguments. But he helped me write a better dissertation. He helped me develop my thinking because he would focus on maybe mistakes. Maybe I was being a bit lazy in my thinking, but he would point it out and say, okay, well, how can you say that? Where's your evidence for that? Where's your argument for that? And I would have to justify it. And I felt that I benefited from that. And so this responding to and taking on feedback, negative feedback, that's also an ability. It's also a skill to take feedback to improve your work. And I'm hoping you're experiencing that in your classes as well, that you're getting feedback and improving your work. I raise these points in order to suggest that along with all the information that you're learning in your classes, you're also developing skills. You may not appreciate those skills right now, but I hope very much, and I'm confident, that later on you'll realize, that was something that I learned from one of my professors. I remember one of my professors telling me or getting me to do this over and over again. And well, now it's useful. Now I can see how I can apply it in my life, how we can use these skills as we respond to the uncertainty of the days, of our days. So I hope that you have these memories of the skills that you've been developing with your professors. Your professors are here. You can take the opportunity to thank them for what they've taught you. I'm sure they'd love to hear that. But I want to assure you, I am confident, we are confident, that you have been developing the skills that you will be needing to be successful in the world in the future. I don't know what it's going to look like, and it's going to be filled with uncertainty. But the skills that you are developing now will help you succeed, and we are confident that you will be good and successful representatives of Parami, and we're very proud of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much to our Dean for that very interesting story. And it makes us realize that everybody's in this room were deadline fighter at some point in our life. So, and also thank you so much for highlighting all the skills that all students are getting from Parami universities. So the awarding and presentation of associate degree sessions will resume shortly. So we'll take about 3 to 5 minutes break in between while our students are lining up. It's now time to officially recognize the achievements of our graduates who are attending the ceremony both offline and in person, online. Our associate degree graduates will receive dual degrees from Parami University and Bard College. And I would like to invite Dr. Phelan and Dr. Divishine, already standing up, getting ready, to take your place on the stage to present the diplomas from Parami University and Bard College, and of course to congratulate to the students. So, Dr. Phelan, may you please? And Dr. Divishine would be at that spot, and you would be facing to that direction. Yes, we are facing to the left-hand side. First, I will call out the names of graduates attending this commencement ceremony in person, one by one, to receive the diplomas. Graduates, please walk off the stage when your name is called. A Momoso. A Ngui Tan. A Tỷ Rụy Piu. A Piu Tê. A Piu Sen Wen. He De Sen Sang. Hong Ki Man. Su Wen Mong Du. Tham Nhật Phou Nang. Tao Wei Yan Lin. Tao Wen Yan. Jack Ling Ju. Kai Luen Luen Do. Ken Raza Jo. Ken Yadana Jo. ခိုင်နွယ်လင်း ครูเดวิดดาเค ကျော်တိုးတိုးဟန် จีเล่เล่มู เมลาวินหลวน เมဖြူသွေ เมดอดา เมตันดาเอา เมนแคนโซ เมนตันเฮ မျိုးမြင့်မောင်မောင် နန်းဆိုးစန္ဒာအောင် ငိမ့်စုသော
။
ဤငယ် ဖြိုးစုမူ ဖြိုးတီဟာအောင် Ram La Sangha. Ruth La Doherty. Sai Omke. So Watuke. Shaiminton. Shola Moon. Shwintale. Soyadanatha. Then that way. Then Dalton. Theory win. Thank you so much, Dr. Philens and Dr. David Shine, for presenting the diplomas. It's not an end yet. We still have our graduates joining us online. So now is the time to confer associate degrees to graduates joining this commencement ceremony online. Their photos will be displayed on the screens when their names are called. Graduates who are joining us online, please receive your diplomas virtually when your name is called. Abdul Rahman. I know. Aung Chamu. Aumentu. Hatiyatullah. Hein Lin Thong. Nê Y Wei Luyện. Thác Khan Lien. Kara Hossain. Kim Maung Ban. Lin Thao U. Linh Tan Linh. My Mon Tan. Mim Yu Mi Hein. Mo Honey. Mozart Brank. Nhim Nhẹ. Ninh Xin Lò Lân. Nhảy Cô Cổ. Nhảy Min Xô. Âu Cảm Nhiệt Dỗ. Peter Lim Mang. Pi Song Du. Subyo Mason. Tân Sen Thong. William Mintek. Willie Pyo. Yim Mei Han. Yu Ya Luen Kin. Sim Mon Tan. Congratulations to all graduates. You may now wear your tassel to the left. Coming up, we are very excited to announce student awards that recognize students' leadership excellence, civic engagement, creativity and innovation, academic excellence, and contribution to building a positive and engaging online community. I would like to invite the Director of Admissions and Student Affairs of Parami University, Mr. Aung Min Du, to the stage to present the awards. The first award is the Creative and Innovation Award. So this award recognizes a student who thinks outside the box, introduces novel ideas, and contributes to groundbreaking solutions or initiatives. I would like to invite Tao Wenyan to the stage to receive Creativity Innovation Award. The second award is the Online Community Builder Award. This award celebrates an individual who goes above and beyond to create a vibrant and supportive community builder award. The next award is a Civic Engagement Award, which honors a student who dedicates their time and efforts to addressing pressing social issues and inspire others to engage in meaningful civic activities. I would like to invite Dan Da Tui to the stage to receive the Civic Engagement Award. Thank you, Mr. Aung Min Du, for presenting the awards. And we still have a student from online. I know they are very excited. So the fourth award is Academic Excellence Award that celebrates students with the highest cumulative GPA in the first 2 years of contributing scholarly work that has recognitions and impact. I would like to invite Abdul Rahman to receive the Academic Excellence Award. The following award is a Presidential Award, which recognizes students who excels academically and contributes positively to the university community. I would like to invite Mozart Brank to receive the Presidential Award. And the last award is the Leadership Excellence Award, which honors those who make a lasting impact through their leadership and vision. I would like to invite Miem Nye to receive the Leadership Excellence Award. Congratulations to all students who received these special awards, and once again to Mr. Aung Min Du for presenting the awards. Coming up next, we have a student representatives to deliver a commencement speech on behalf of all the members of graduating class. I would like to invite our student representative, Pyo Soo Mo, to the stage to deliver the commencement speech.
Okay. First of all, I would like to appreciate this given opportunity to be able to represent the class of 2027 students. So, I would like to open my speech by thanking Harry and Mozart for encouraging me to go for this speech while I fight for the late assignment deadline at the midnight. And have a thank to the Parami community and team for giving me the opportunity to tell the story as a student speaker in this remarkable ceremony. I also would like to thank the professor and the instructors who always have to deal with my never-ending late submissions and deadline extension requests, the advisors who have to deal with my never-ending complaints, and my parents who always support me no matter what I am. Lastly, my love for carrying me unconditionally and my friend showered me with so much energy and smile like everyone here today. So today is the beginning of the end, because in life, the end of one journey is the beginning of a new journey. Whether it is about the academic journey or a career journey or even romantic journey, no one is ready. So as soon as we pass up the beginning point, we plan, we learn, and we grow so that we can be ready to finish our journey. Being a student at Parami University is not easy at all, at least for me. You got to learn, you are who you are, and so many rules on citations. I got 0 in my final essay once, and I'm still bad at it, but does it make me grow? Yes, it does. I am now more familiar with the academic writing and argumentative approach. I hope you guys as well too. Attending at Parami University had made me realize that we have choices to be true to ourselves or to live it with the expectation from the others. The choice is yours. Attending an online university in Parami is not easy as I thought, with the frequent electricity cutoff and bonus point or irregular routines. With extra hour of 0 electricity, I was not able to catch up with the assignment and lesson at all, as I used to have only a computer and a mobile phone. And this experience made me realize how challenging it might be for the student from the rural areas. I live in Yangon, one of the most urban cities in Myanmar, and I have so many trouble just because of the electricity cutoff. Today here, I would like to tell all my peers that I can feel and see your struggle where electricity is only available for 2 to 6 hours per day. So be proud of yourself, my friends. Having 24/7 electricity is a privilege, yet you all did well amazingly. In the sea of assignment and readings, I can say that we all drown into the sea at least once while swimming across the sea to finish the assignment, right? So don't worry, my dear fellows. I drowned too much that being able to finish assignment on time sounds like a dream to me now. And I love to dream. This time, I also wish to honorable mention to my friends who have walked through their full-time studying in Parami. I want you all to know that I noticed your struggles and your tiredness under your passionate dedication to achieve your academic dreams. Taking jobs and attending the class on time is not easy at all. Yet you all are amazingly participating in class, finishing the assignment, and now here, achieving your academic goal today. I also wish to thank my peers for supporting each other as we sometimes struggle in class and participation. So let's give ourselves a huge applause for overcoming the struggles and challenges to achieve this academic dream. A dream we dare to dream. Despite all the challenges, I was privileged enough to receive a scholarship from Prosper Burma. I know how much inflation and economy has impacted on our livelihoods, and even paying a small amount of US dollar as a tuition fee is a huge burden for us. Back in July last year, I had an emergency surgery due to my endometriosis problem. And at the time, pain and tuition fees was like a very high rocky mountain. Without the support from the Prosper Burma Online Scholarship, I will not be here standing and talking. I cannot thank everyone enough for helping me throughout this journey. The journey I worked for 2 years in this university and is now reaching the crossroad, where I have to choose between the end of this to start a new journey or the continuation of the current journey. And I believe my friends here today will also be in the same spot I am, whether to choose to end and start a new journey or a continuation of your current journey. We are who we are, and no one can define us. But make sure to find some love and partners along the way, because doing it alone can be lonely sometimes. Trust me on that. Trust me. I'm not a diligent student, nor a smart student on the deal list. I'm not. But here I am. Everyone has a chance to dream for what they truly wish to dream, for no matter who they are or what they are, because even someone like me living with autism, major depressive disorder, plus endometriosis, I dare to dream and achieve for whatever I want to be. And this is my special applause for all my friends who are joining virtually. The place you're standing or sitting is not important, but who you are is. You may not have noticed along the way, but now just look at yourself. How amazingly you have become, and how wonderfully you are now as a person. One day, when you look back at your 2 years at Parami, I can guarantee that the memory will give you a huge smile. And to my little mentees and juniors, I would like to encourage you to keep moving forward with all your head highs. Being the best person in the room is not the same as being the best version of yourself. And today, I chose to be the best version of myself. And I hope you do too. I would like to end my speech with a smile. May you have the courage and the power to dream. May your days be filled with happiness and love. Thank you very much.
What a wonderful speech by Pyosumo. Thank you for reflecting on all the hardships, challenges you all students had to go through. But you know, of course, your resilience, your hard work, dedication, exactly what brought you here today in this room. So thank you so much, Pyosumo, for your insightful message and wonderful speech. So now, our ceremony has almost come to a close. Now is the time to ring the Burmese speaking gong to conclude this ceremony. This gong is used in several different cultural occasions in Burma. We use it when we want to send prayers to those whom we have lost. We also use it in front of processions of monks, begging for alms to inform people that the monks are coming. While it has religious use in Burma, the secular practice of ringing the Burmese speaking gong started to steadily take roots among many Bot-affiliated campuses when U Ba Win, who was born in Burma, came to work as a senior administrator at Bot College at Simon's Rock in Massachusetts, where our president, Dr. Jamoton, went to college. The reverberating sounds generated by this spinning gong calls for a moment of silence and peace to honor and celebrate the 2-year journey of all graduates at Parami University. I would like to invite Dr. Jonathan Becker to honor us with the ringing of spinning gong. Let us now observe a moment of silence while we strike the spinning gong 3 times. Thank you so much, Dr. Jonathan Becker. Once again, congratulations to all graduating members, and thank you everyone for honoring us with your presence. As we conclude the ceremony, we also want to inform everyone that donations for the Parami University Undergraduate Scholarship Fund are being accepted. The donation information in Myanmar Kyat, Thai Baht, and US dollars can be found in your pamphlets. As a nonprofit university, we rely on generosity of our supporters to make our education mission possible. So kindly talk to our staff at the counter for the donation receipts. Lastly, I'd like to request that our trustees, faculty members, and students to remain in this room for photo sessions. Guests are also invited to stay around to take photos. With that, the 2025 Parami University Commencement comes to an end. Have a great day.
กว้างกว้างไม่ได้คือเขาตอนนี้ยืนบังน้ำหมดมันไม่ได้แล้วมันบังน้ำหมดแล้ว
ค
scholarship recipients to remain on the photograph, as well the request of Prospect Honor Organization for a quick photo section. May I invite the guests from the Prospect Bomber to drive us the photo section, please? And also, FYI, we have the cameramen and women standby just in the middle of the room. So if you may wish to have the individual photo or a group to be taken, please reach out to them. It's all for free. I think this is our second time meeting. Really? At the noodle shop, right? Last year. Noodle shop. It's very nice to see you again. So yeah. So hello, Prosper Bomber Scholarship recipients.